Welcome into the Dynasty Total Access. It's your boy Expert, and you know I got the homie Farquhar with me. What's up, my dude?
Hey, week 3. Let's get it.
Week 3, and we grinding like always, but you know we have special guests from time to time on Total Access, and we got an OG with us today, one of our favorite guest hosts. It's none other than that Redskin user, Hot Speed 30, Mr. Andre. What's going on, man?
Let's go back. Week 3, Madden 18 cycle. The patch is out.
Let's go back. And the patch is out, Andre. So, the patch is supposed to fix several things in Madden 18 that some users have a problem with, including your boy Expert. But we do have someone in the group, Andre, that has actually played a game with the patch live. Mr. Farquhar played a game today with his Falcons and just beat down on Butters and those Detroit Lions. It wasn't even as close as the score showed. 38-7. It should have been 50-something to 7. But Farquhar didn't take a couple picks back to the house like he should. Should have gone left one time, and there was like the Red Sea parted with Moses.
Mm-hmm.
Farquhar, you tell us, did the patch help fix Madden 18?
I definitely saw a difference in the zones being a lot tighter. The zones were definitely a lot tighter. I'm not sure if my opponent was just kind of flinging in the air due to the pressure that was patched also with the defensive line. I was getting a lot more pressure. I was in the backfield a lot, and I had a pretty solid defensive line in Atlanta, and I was having a problem getting after the quarterback those first 2 games. So I definitely noticed the difference. And as far as getting pressure on the quarterback and those zones, so I think the patch was perfect. I mean, my end result was 38-7, so I think the patch did the same thing.
Doubt. and you held Matt Stafford to 13 for 22, 59% completion rate. And he threw 3 interceptions, and you held him to under 120 yards passing. So Stafford struggled all game long. And then, but the other part that they talked about patching was the juke move. So is the juke move patched in Madden 18 now?
Nah, man, that thing ain't going nowhere. I had a juke with a tight end and broke for like a 30-yard touchdown, Austin Hooper, and then I had another juke, and then I got juked in the backfield by Theo Reddick, and he broke for like a 70-yard touchdown run. So that juke ain't going nowhere. I think it's they tightened it down a bit. They toned it down a bit, but it's still deadly with the right users and the right players that has those abilities.
Right.
The juke is it's deadly this Madden. Period.
All right, Andre. So you heard Farquhar talk a little bit about some things that have changed. Does the patch affect the Redskins at all?
Absolutely not. Hey, but I did notice the juke looked a little slower from what I mean, just visually. Before that juke was real fast and it sucked you right on in. But the patch really don't affect what we do. We like to run to the left. We like to dive through the middle, and we like to run to the right. And we also like to throw it up a couple times. But we just like to make a couple more plays than our opponents, and that's it.
All right, guys, I can't wait to play a game with this patch live on Madden 18. But let's jump into week 3 in the Dynasty. And we're going to start with Taz and those Los Angeles Rams headed to face Andy Force and those 49ers. We got 2 guys coming off of losses in week 2. Both quarterbacks struggling. Both of them threw 3 interceptions. The Rams losing to none other than Speed and those Redskins. And this is going to be a bounce back game for one of these guys. I think right now Andy Force has the edge, and he's at home. I got to go with the 49ers in a close one this week over the Rams.
The Rams played shout out to both these users, man. These are both OGs of the league. Andy Force, he came off that was a disappointing loss. But that's a good Seahawks team. Like I said, that's a really good Seahawks team. And Tazarelli with the Rams, man, he gave a valiant effort against the Redskins in week 2. That was he battled to the end. Just turnovers and some missed throws, some misreads, costing that game. But I'm going to give this game ultimately to the Reds. I'm going to give the edge to the Andy Force and the 49ers. based on user skill. I think his user skills are just a little bit better than Tazzarelli's, and I think he'll pull through with the win, week 3.
Okay, so I had a game with Taz in week 2 with the Rams. I couldn't put them away. Like it was chances. I was at the goal line. It was about to be a wrap. We about to send everybody in Los Angeles home. They could leave the stadium, and we fumbled. He took it back to the house. Then he got another interception, something back to the house. Hey, that Rams defense is real. They got a lot of talent on the defense, and Todd Gurley is a glitch, man. That dude breaks every first half. And I think the 49ers just don't have a good football team, man. I mean, I think that's going to be a challenge for Andy going forward.
Yeah, it is.
I think the Rams going to get this victory in week 3 and finally get himself a win.
Next up, it's skill trading those Baltimore Ravens, and he's headed to Jacksonville to play King Vitamin and the Jaguars. This is going to be an interesting game. I want to take a look for one quick second with King Vitamin. We know what type of user the man is, but last week, guys, he threw for 63 yards with his quarterback and won the football game. Like I don't understand how that's even possible. Now
is that defense?
He played H-Town in the Titans, but here is where King Vitamin is dangerous. That monster he has in the backfield named Leonard Fournette, another 140 plus yards rushing the football on 13 carries. He's averaging over 10 yards a carry right now, and that's a automatic first down every time he touches the football. Listen, the other thing is his defense is creating turnovers.
Yeah,
but you cannot expect to continue to win football games throwing for 63 yards in a dynasty. It's not going to happen. Something has to change. And this week, he gets skill traded in the Ravens, who's struggling. I believe he came off a win last week, though. Give me 1 second to look.
No, he lost to the Browns.
He lost to the Browns.
Pretty bad, actually.
Yeah, watch out. Watch out. The Browns is real this year. But I think King Vitamin fixes that passing offense. He finds a way to get Blake Bortles throwing the football down the field. He's got so many weapons to throw to. He's got to figure it out. Jags bounce back, guys, with a huge double-digit victory over the Ravens this week.
Okay. I'm not going to rule out the skill trade in this Baltimore Ravens team. He's playing pretty well right now. His passing defense is terrible. It's abysmal for the most part. I think he's ranked dead last in the league. Yeah, he's given up 379 yards a game. He's given up. So that's terrible in itself. But the offensive side of the ball, man, he's Terrence West, who came off a 200 plus yard game week 1. He kind of got shut down week 2, but Joe Flacco's playing pretty well. Rashard Perriman is his go-to target, 10 receptions, 252 yards and a touchdown so far this year. He can move the football down the field. It's just the defense where he's got to stop. That's his issue. And he's ranked first against the run. He's only given up 24 yards rushing. So, and he's got Leonard Fournette coming in town.
Yeah. So
this is going to be a really interesting game to watch. I'm going to give this game, this is another game I'm going to give slightly better to the user. I'm going to give this to Jacksonville. The Jags is just, I think, a little bit better than this Baltimore Ravens team. And this is a good user. This is the guy right here. He's what, top 5 user in the league, top 3 user in the league right now.
No doubt.
So yeah, I'm giving this to the Jaguars, man, with the win.
Man, skill trade is number 1, but that number's a little skewed, especially being just week 2. He played the Browns, and they Isaiah Correa only had 8 carries, so I'm not impressed with the run defense.
Okay,
he gonna get a good look this week because that dude got an animal. He got a beast in Fournette. I played with Fournette and head to head, and I think I got like 300. I mean, it was ridiculous. Like I ain't even had to throw the ball. There was no need.
Right.
But I think that skill trade is better, and this man is better fit for him and his brother. You know me? And I've watched. I went back and watched a little bit of both of their games. they're playing better, and I think it's because it's the new man. So some of the stuff that we seen in last Madden 17, we won't see in this Madden. I think it's gonna be a good game. But I ultimately think that Vitamin is just on a little bit different level, and I think the Jaguars put it out.
No doubt. Next up, it's the co-commish Tone Dog and those Denver Broncos headed into Buffalo to play Hamilton and the Bills. Talk about two guys coming off of bad losses last week. The Broncos just get annihilated by the Cowboys. Buffalo goes into Carolina, and Carolina just runs all over them for a big, huge victory against the Bills. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Which one of these two guys can bounce back? I like what the Broncos have on offense versus anything the Bills have on that football team. They pretty much traded every good player they had before the season started. Kind of put Hamilton in a bad situation. But he's going to have a ton of picks coming up this year, ton of cap space, going to be able to make some moves. But this week, I got to give it to Tone Dog. Broncos go in and get them a victory versus Buffalo.
Tone Dog, he had a rough game last week, but he definitely could have won that game. He threw seven picks. Travis Simeon threw 7 picks. That's not going to win you any football game. You have a 99.9% chance of winning that or losing that game. If when you're throwing 7 picks like that. But besides that, man, I mean, this team still, I'll say it week in and week out, this is a stout defense. This is a solid defense he's got. I'm going to give this game to Tone Dog and the Broncos just because the Buffalo Bills are struggling along with that roster that is struggling. I shout out to Hamilton, but I don't see him winning a single game this year. I'm going to put it out there. I don't see Buffalo winning a single game this year. And I still shout out to Hamilton, but this team is bad, really bad. Broncos, man, with the bounce back win this week.
All right, man. This is actually a big game in for both of these teams because 0-3, you can pretty much wrap it up and get ready for the draft. Start looking at the prospects. Start calling up, prospects and trying to figure out who you want to get because if you go 0-3, it's gonna be pretty much a wrap and digging your way out. I watched the Broncos get destroyed by the Cowboys, but it was a closer game than what that score indicated. I think Tone had it within 3, and then it just snowballed on him. The Bills, man, I played them in in head-to-head before the season started, and he had some good things going, but this shit just ain't translating. It ain't translating to the season. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, Tone, man, get this win, get himself back into a position where he can compete for that division because I think he if he get this win, he'll be a 1-2, and I think the Chargers are 1-1. And somebody's 2-0, so he won't get out of it. I got Tone Dog winning this thing right here.
No doubt. Next up, it's Matty Ice and those Saints coming off of a win last week to face C-Rob and the Panthers. Now, Farquhar, you and I talked last week on Total Access about they got to get McCaffrey involved in this offense in Carolina.
Yes, sir.
C-Rob paid attention.
Yep.
McCaffrey gets 13 touches, 93 yards, scores 1 touchdown. But the bigger thing is this rushing attack in Carolina had over 200 rushing yards last week.
Big time.
Which is just huge in this Madden. And I think he finally listened to us and finally got some of those athletes that he's got involved. Now, he's going to face Matty Ice coming off of a W. Matty's a good user. We know what kind of user Matty Ice is. He loves throwing the slant in the post. So if you can stop those, you got a chance to beat him. But I just think Carolina has way too many weapons. I'm picking C-Rob in a close one over the Saints.
This is. I'm definitely gonna keep my eye tuned on this one. This is 2 of my division mates. So I'm definitely gonna have all eyes on this one. Shout out to Matty Ice, man. He good New England Patriot team came into town and he weathered the storm. Tom Brady came in there and passed for over 400 yards on this team, and he still won the game. I mean, and Matty Ice still won the game. So that just shows you the resilience with this team. C-Rob, though, once you get Christian McCaffrey going, he can do so much on the offensive side of the ball. Once you get him going, it's hard to stop. I think that should be C-Rob's focal piece as the season progresses. As long as he stays healthy, he'll be a tough team to beat. I'm looking forward to playing this team also. But I'm going to give this game to C-Rob just because Matty Ice and them Saints cannot stop the pass. And this game seems to be a little tailor-made for it, along with and a good counter with that is the run. And you got White Lightning back there that can do it all. I'm giving this to C-Rob and the Panthers with the win.
All right, this is an interesting matchup, man. You got the Falcons at 2-0 in this division. You got both these teams at 1-1. So this is kind of a big game for both these guys. And like you said, you got to get McCaffrey involved. He got to try to do McCaffrey like he was doing, as he called it, BP, bad pick. Try to force feed that guy the ball. Because McCaffrey's, man, he's a matchup nightmare on his game and in real life. Matty Ice, big shout out to Matty Ice because he got his ass destroyed in week number 1. The Vikings came through and smacked the shit out of the Saints. And I was like, man, his credit, he came back and had a nice win. And what I seen when I was looking at the numbers, Adrian Peterson, 18 carries for 100 yards. So that was real big for him because he's not big on running, but maybe he took a page out of old high-speed playbook. And I expect him to win this game, though. I think he's going to beat C-Rob. I think he's a little bit better user than C-Rob overall. And I know Matt's got a chip in his eye, so I'm picking the Saints to win this game.
Wow.
Okay.
Better user than C-Rob. I know C-Rob paid attention to that comment. Next up, it's the homie MCV, Mr. Matt, and those Steelers going in to face the real KP and those Chicago Bears. Now, these are two teams, 0-2, have not played well, and both of these guys need a win desperately. Man, I feel bad for the Steelers because they have just not looked good at all this year. Ben Roethlisberger looks like he is a rookie, overthrowing just about everything, and he's just got so many weapons. But I hate to say this, Matt, you're going to start 0-3 because KP and those Bears get a W this week. Bears with the win.
This, I got to piggyback on that, man, because this Matt came into the league, of course, last cycle and took over a bad coach team, and he said that give him a good team and watch him make some noise. Here we are, week 3, Dynasty season. He's got a great team. 0-2. I mean, these numbers are. I'm looking at his numbers right now. His team numbers, man. He's ranked next to last, only scoring 14 points a game. He's ranked in the bottom half of the league in yards, passing yards, rushing yards. Damn near ranked in the bottom of the league in every defensive category as well. This team is just playing terrible. I don't know what's going on with my guy, man. But he said he's going to get in the lab and make it happen. He's got a tough opponent this week also. KP, he's the real deal. I think he's gonna get a bounce back win this week, and start the train moving to Chicago, man. Bears with the win.
Man, this is like a pick'em game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, flip a coin.
Because I watched the Bears play. I watched them get murdered versus Atlanta twice. Every time Trubisky threw the ball, it was interception. So I'm looking at his numbers, man. Hey. KP, real KP, you better go ahead and hit me in the DM, and I give you some running plays that you can keep fucking with until this dude Trubisky do something, because this is horrible. Now, I did hear from my man Steelers. He did actually hit me up in the DM and said, man, I need to try to get this running game going with Le'Veon. I gave him some pointers. Let's see if it's gonna pay off, man. He got Le'Veon Bell, he got AB, he got Martavis Bryant, he got explosive offense. Like you should at least be getting like 21 to, matter of fact, 30 points a game with that offense. So having said that, man, I'm gonna motivate my man MVC or MVP or whatever. I'm gonna motivate him. You're gonna get your ass destroyed by the Bears. Prove me wrong.
Motivation. All right. We'll skip the next game because we talked about the Falcons destroying the Lions. Next up is Houdini and those Cleveland Browns going in to face T-Pain and the Colts, the 2-0 Colts.
Yeah.
Now, one of those was his computer got him a W, but he did get a win on his own, and they 2-0. And they got a tough opponent this week versus Houdini. Let me give some free chicken to you, T-Pain. The Browns is going to throw the ball 40-plus times in the football game. Get ready for it. I don't know if Houdini doesn't know that running is a part of football, because there is no balance in any user team that he has. It's straight pass. Mm-hmm. And he's going to get him another W this week. I'm picking the Browns in a blowout over the Colts.
I'm Carl. I'm picking the Colts to win the game, and I'm just gonna tell you this right here, bro. There was a fucking patch today. There was a patch today. So go out and win the game, bro. You bet not lose this game. You playing a one-dimensional team. Please win the game, bro. You should not. Don't lose this game. Win this game, bro. Go 3-0. Colts with the win.
Wow. Okay, you kind of stole my thunder. I was actually gonna pick the Colts too. I think man, it depends on a lot of factors, man. Because one thing that Carl will do, and I know he'll do, he commits to the run. I mean, I could shut the run down the whole game. He's still running that fucking rock. So I commend him on that. Houdini will not run the rock. And he kind of did it at the end of last cycle, and I don't know if he just got away from it now. I'm about to go with Carl to win the game, man. Win this joint. Go with the Colts with the win, man.
Colts with the win. Next up, it's the OG Chris Murray with those Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the commish himself, Mr. Nasty Noob, and those Minnesota Vikings. Last week we talked about the balance in Minnesota, and it continued last week. Only completes 11 passes, but they go to 5 different wide receivers. You cannot pick one guy with this Minnesota team and shut him down because he is spreading the ball around. Now, one thing that is a concern, Dalvin Cook is supposed to be the best running back in Minnesota, but he had 18 carries for 60-plus yards. Not a very good day for him. Can he fix that against the Bucs? I got to pick the Vikings. They are just playing great defense right now. They are shutting people down on that side of the football. Vikings with a win against the Buccaneers.
This is another user in Tampa Bay that throws the football nonstop. We've heard it from the commission himself. This motherfucker is as giddy as a little girl that just got asked to homecoming or the daddy-daughter dance. Her daddy taking her to the daddy-daughter dance. He's giddy as hell right now, man. This patch is in his favor. This defense, this is the number one defense in the NFL. Like, and this defense already came in being just stacked from the front line to the DBs to the secondary. I'm giving this to Minnesota, man. Go ahead and beat up on Chris Murray, man.
Okay, not so fast. Chris Murray actually is a passing guy, but last week, fucking Sims got 100 yards, 17 carries. Can that continue? That's the question. Can that continue? Mm-hmm. Now, I believe in running the ball because running the ball sets up everything else. Now, he don't believe in it. He normally throws it all over the yard. And Minnesota just been punching people in the face so far. Early on in this year, man.
Yeah.
And I don't see the Buccaneers winning this game. I think Minnesota gets to 3-0. And their defense continue to play well. And Cook might have a pretty good game this week.
Clean sweep for the Vikings on Total Access. Next up, it's Expert and those winless freaking Texans going up against the co-commiss SJ and those Patriots who are 1-1. Let's not talk statistics, stats, none of that nonsense. The Texans are playing horrible. I can tell you from firsthand experience because I'm holding the controller as they're getting their heads kicked in. But the Texans bounce back this week and they get their first win of the season. Texans over the Patriots.
It's tough to see see my co-host struggle like this, man. Because he's one of the top 10 users in the league. You don't see him struggle, but I've been very adamant going into week 1, saying that guys will play this sim mode and scratch their head wondering what the fuck is going on, because this is a different beast. I'm telling you. But I've also gave some stuff in the chat also saying you don't really have to do too much, man. Play realistic football and the ratings will do the rest. I picked Houston twice. I cannot pick you guys again. I can't do it. It's fucking up my numbers. And plus, you got the Patriots coming into town. Yeah. This guy flings the football. He's got weapons all over the field. I don't think the defense is going to hold up. Tom Brady, he's the GOAT. He's got Brandon Cooks. He's got Malcolm Butler back there.
Don't remind me.
Defense. Stephen Gilmore. I mean, he's got pieces all over the place, man. I know he did not want to lose that game against Matty Ice. There's a nice little feud there between those two users, and I'm sure he hates that he lost that game. He's going to come back and try to give you the business, bro. Yeah. Patriots with the win this week.
Man, and you know what? SJ hasn't been playing well this year. I mean, he snuck a win. He crept a win the first week, and then he got beat. He came back in that game, but Matt was pretty much handling him the whole game. He controlled the game. So in this next game, man, he got the GOAT. He got Tom Brady. He got Gronkowski. The last two motherfuckers that's on the cover, Madden. You know what I'm saying? And the Texans, man. Texas got a good team, man, but they got this young guy named Watson, and I just can't take Watson over Brady. Gotta go with Brady. I'm going with the GOAT.
No doubt. Next up, it's the Dynasty Game of the Week.
Miami football. As rich and vibrant as the city they play in. From the perfection of 72. Perfect Marino pass. Shining with their community. These are the Dolphins. New York City. Bold like Joe's promise. From a Curtis Martin stat line to a Rex Ryan rant. To once again own Broadway. Jets.
It's that third person, Mr. Tightwork, and those Miami Dolphins. Facing off against Mr. Ness and those New York Jets. Now, I believe the Dolphins are 2-0 going into this game, going up against a 1-1 Jets football team. We all know what kind of user Ness is. We starting to learn who this Tightwork guy is. Pretty new to the league, but it's come in here in Madden 18 and made some noise. Now, with that being said, the Jets are a horrible football team on paper. They have no business being 1-1. If you ask Ness, he'll tell you the same thing. They need a lot of pieces. Can't wait to see how he rebuilds that franchise. But guys, I can never go against Ness. Ness with the win. He's going to kick a field goal late to beat the Dolphins in New York.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm. You guys got me on air now. I'm putting it out there. I'm on air. Tightwork. This guy seems like he's going to be a problem in this league. If you guys did not watch that game last week against the Chargers, that's game of the year in my book.
No doubt.
That was an incredible football, a very incredible football game that was played down to the last minute. He went up against one of the top dogs in the league as far and that boy good, the Chargers. That was an incredible game. He fought. Both those teams fought back and forth. Shout out Ness. That's the homie. I know what he can do. He's just got a bad football team.
Yeah, he does.
And Miami, this is his team. He knows his team inside out, and it's showing. It's showing on the football field and his user skills also. This team is putting up 40 points a game. That's top 3 in the league. Putting up over 350 yards a total. This defense isn't the best. He's given up a lot of yards, ranked bottom half of the league. But going against this Jets team, I'm just not really feeling it. I know Ness is wanting to really, get through this season and open up, get to the offseason and make some things happen and get this team where he wants it to get to. And he's going to continue to struggle, I think, this season. Tight work in the Dolphins with the win this week.
Wow, man. Hey, Tight Work said Tight Work is the Dolphins are going to come to Tight Work. And hey, the Dolphins made the right decision because, man, right now it's paying off, man. I'm glad they came to Tight Work, man, because he got Ryan Tannehill looking like Rich Gannon back in the day when they was going to Super Bowls with the Raiders, man. That guy, I said, who is that? Tannehill, 4 touchdowns, 394 yards, man. It was a great win that he had against that boy Good, and that boy Good is good. So it was a back and forth game, and he pulled it out. And so I just don't think the Jets have enough to win. Right, win this game. He'll win games this year. You know what I'm saying? No doubt. But I just don't think he'll win this game.
No, not at all.
I think he's got a little bit more talent than he got right now. And they came to Tight Work, and Tight Work is going to get it done.
Next up, it's the homie Flair and those Giants going into Philadelphia to play KP and the Eagles. Now, I know the Giants are 0-2 and the Eagles are 1-1, but the Eagles have not looked good this year. I don't know what's going on with the homie KP, but he loses to the Redskins in week 1 in just an epic battle back and forth.
Yeah.
Misses a field goal at the end to lose that football game. Then he plays Mo Booker and the Chiefs and barely pulls a victory out. Turned the ball over 4 times. Did not look good on the offensive side of the football. Squeaks a win out. And he's got to play against Flair. And I know this is not the same Flair from Madden 17.
Not at all.
This guy has battled week in and week out. He plays tough against Hot Tub in week 1. Has a chance to win that football game and just made some bad decisions. Then last week he's got Butters on the ropes and just couldn't catch Butters in the end. Loses by 1 point. I just don't understand. These two users are not playing the same way they played in 17. Flair playing better. KP is in the bucket right now. KP bounces back this week. He figures that offense out. Wentz decides to throw to the guys in green and not in blue this week. Eagles with the win.
I had a nice little chat with Flair earlier today, and he's hungry, man. He's hungry and excited to be in this division because he wants to make some noise. We all know what KP, the real KP, not that guy in Chicago, man. We all know what the real KP is capable of. He's got multiple banners in the rafters. With the Eagles, I'm going to give this game to KP, but Flair he's playing, like you said, he's playing really, really well. Eli's got targets. He's got that speedy tight end, Evan Ingram. Him and OBJ, they both got 9 catches apiece. So he's targeting his 2 best receivers / tight ends a lot, and it's starting to pay off. He lost 2 the week 1 game against the Cowboys. He played really well. He could have that game was a lot closer than the score indicated. In week 2, he should have won that game. He should have won the game. I'm going to give this game to the Eagles, though, man. Eagles just got the slightly better user. Eagles with the win.
Me and KP had a great opening week. I got down early. Like, he had 2 one-play touchdowns. I'm like, damn, jeez. But what I noticed is that their run defense was like a city with no walls, and we just ran right through that. We enjoyed it. And what I've seen out of the Giants, he's actually running the football, and this is not like Flair to run the ball. Perkins had 90 yards. He didn't get 100, but he got 16 carries, which is interesting. You know what I mean? The Giants got a good football team, especially on defense. They got 2 nice cornerbacks. They got a nice safety in Landon Collins. They got a decent defensive line, and they got weapons on offense. I'm going with an upset. I'm taking win this game. Because KP, like you said, he hasn't played well, especially last week against Mo Booker. And I think that Flair is hungry. I always commended him for jumping into the fire. This is your chance to make some noise, make a statement, beat the Eagles, and then we're going to include you into the NFC Beast.
Wow, upset of the week if that happens. Next up, it's the big homie and the undefeated Seattle Seahawks going in to face H-Town and those Tennessee Titans. This Seattle defense is legit. They have forced 7 turnovers in 2 games, and they are holding opponents to minimal yards. This is a good team. I know the big homie is excited about this year. And he gets to face off against one of my division rivals in those Tennessee Titans. So I got to pick the Seahawks. Seahawks are going to start 3-0 with the big homie guys. Seahawks with the win.
This defense is stacked on paper. They're definitely ranked top 10 in points. They're not giving up a lot of points. They're forcing turnovers. When it comes to maintaining these drives and stopping these drives, they're ranked. They're giving up a lot of passing yards. The rushing yards is top 10, which will always be of the norm in Seattle because this defense is stacked. They got great pass rushers. JB likes to pass that football. If he's listening, I'm sure he's labbing. I'm sure he's scouting. He sees that this is bottom. This Seattle defense is bottom half of the league. I'm gonna give this game to JB, man. Titans. They get their first win. They lost the first 2 games they played. They lost 2 very close games. They're gonna bounce back and get this win, man. Seattle lose their first game this week.
Man, the big homie been playing well, man.
Yes.
And when it came time to pick teams and stuff, a lot of people just bypassed over Seattle, man. They still got a good football team. They got a stout defense, and they got that guy Russell Wilson, man. He's okay. Having said that, I'm used to just saying Titans win. I'm normally used to picking the Titans, but this time I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
No doubt.
I think big homie win this game.
All right, we got a couple games going up. We're not going to waste a lot of time on. It's Addy 5 and those Bengals going up against John and the Packers. If this game gets scheduled within a time slot, I'm picking the Bengals. Easy win this week.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend time on this, man. Bengals with the big one. John Ross finna show out.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this one. John, he got the Packers. He got Aaron Rodgers. He got weapons. He got destroyed. He going to get his ass whooped.
Next up, it's the homie Mo Booker and those Chiefs going up against Dat Boy Good and the Chargers. And we all know what happens when Dat Boy loses a game. He usually does not lose the next one. Dat Boy with an easy win this week.
Chargers with the win. Chargers with the big win. This is a good team.
Mo Booker, man. Hey, you got the Chiefs, man. This is your division. This is your chance, man. Hey, go in there and get this win against Dat Boy Good. I don't foresee it, but I want you to try real hard.
Next up is Darkness and the Raiders, and he's got to play H-Speed and those Redskins. The only question I have here is, does your running back have 200 or 300 yards rushing? Redskins with the easy win.
This Redskins rushing this hack is insane.
Yeah, it is.
But this patch may slow him down a bit. It may slow him down a bit. Raiders with the upset, bro. I'm giving Raiders the win this week, man. Darkness with the win.
Okay, Darkness. I talk to Darkness all the time at DM. Yeah, he's actually pretty one of the best users that you like. He got skills, but last man just wasn't for him. This man's more for him. I don't expect the runaway type of win, but we is gonna run away. Believe me. Gonna get 200 yards. The patch might have fucked this up. All right, fuck it. We get 180, 175. Go ahead, get this West Coast win and beat the Raiders and the Rams. We beat the Rams. It's the Raiders' turn. They're next. We're gonna go ahead and scalp them and beat Darkness. But it's gonna be a good game.
Last game of the week is Hot Tub and those Cowboys going to face Underrated and the Cardinals. My only question here is, will the real Hot Tub please stand up? I don't know what's going on with the homie, but he has not looked good this year. And Underrated is struggling as well. So, with that being said, the Cowboys are just a better football team in this game. I'm going with Hot Tub with an easy win.
What you talking about stand up? Hey, the real Hot Tub, sit your ass down, bro. I don't want to see that Hot Tub again. Multiple Super Bowls.
That's not happening in this match.
But yes, it is so. He has struggled the last his first 2 games, but I think he's going to have a really convincing win this week. Also, he'll clean some things up. He's had 2 weeks to adjust. He's going to go into week 3 better prepared. Underrated, just not gonna. This is just a great user in this league. Cowboys with the win this week.
Underrated, man. You got the Cardinals, a good football team.
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't know. I wouldn't call him struggling because he lost to the computer. You already know Madden computer is a beast. You know what I'm saying? So he lost to Carl's computer in the Colts. With Hot Tub, can he get a win, man? That's the question, because I watched the second game. I didn't watch the first game with Flair, but I did get a chance to watch some of this game with Tone. Tone had some chances, man. Can I pick Underrated? Man, this game looks like he about to get his ass destroyed. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, it looks like it's about to be one of them 50 or 60 point games. Underrated. Hey, try to get within 10 points, man. That's it.
Wow. If he gets within 10, that is a W. All right, guys, that is week 3. There are opinions. Prove us right, prove us wrong. Appreciate the homie HB jumping on Total Access. Always a pleasure. It's your boy Expert, and you know I got the homie Farquaad with me.
Hey, let's get it.
We out.